So this is a continuation session of word count example in Hadoop that we have discussed in the previous video. So today we gonna understand that how we can implement and achieve the same by writing a MapReduce code in a Java. And let me quickly open my VM and just start the Eclipse. So when you will start the Eclipse, it will be like this. Then I'm planning to achieve this by creating a Maven project. Say right click. It's a bit slow, give me a moment. Go to new, other, type Maven, say Maven project, next, next. Anything is fine. Com dot first can give any name. Say first word count example. I'll say WC. I say word count. Say finish. Is creating. So meanwhile, like the first step that we need to understand that we are going to implement a word count example in MapReduce. So the first step, what I said, like, you know, if you are writing a MapReduce program, it means this MapReduce program will perform MapReduce job. Okay, so if your program is going to perform a MapReduce job, then you need to write three classes. One would be the mapper class, another would be the reducer class, and then the third would be the driver class. Okay, so the mapper class where you will implement all your mapper logic, and in the reducer class you will implement the reducer logic. Driver class will contain all sorts of configuration, like what are the mapper class you are using, what are the reducer class you are using, what is the input and the output file format you are having, these kind of stuffs. So so this is what, like, I have already created, so it's open. So let me start with the new one. Here is the new one that we have done in the word count example. The first step is to import all the Hadoop related libraries, and how we can do that? We can do that by using pom.xml. We'll just update the pom.xml and we will fetch all the Hadoop 2.7.2 related libraries into our project. Okay, so in order to achieve that, we'll go to pom.xml, and I have created one parent project where I have given all the pom.xml means Hadoop related all the dependencies into the pom.xml. So I'll copy, so I'll try to inherit this code, this dependencies from this particular project. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, so this is the pom.xml. See, you just need to add another element called as parent, and you need to define the group ID and the artifact ID and version of the project of which you are planning to take the all the dependencies from it. Okay, so my plan is to take from 0.MapReduce-parent projects related libraries. So I just mentioned the same artifact ID into it and the group ID. If you'll open this, like, 1 minute guys. So whatever is mentioned in this, like when I was creating it, I mentioned the artifact ID and the group ID is this, so I'll have to use the same. So I'll just copy this parent one, say Control C, and I'll paste it here. I'll save. Okay, let me check any other thing I'm missing. No, that's fine. So all the Hadoop related library is now into my workspace. And how we can check that? You can see a new folder got created, which is a Maven dependencies. And if you'll open it, you will get to see all the Hadoop related jar into your project. Okay. So now we can start writing our mapper, reducer and driver class code. Okay. So the first step should be, like, you can start with anything, but my advice is to start with writing a mapper class. Okay. So how we can write a Java code? How we can write a Java code? So what we'll do, we'll go to the package. We'll just say right click, say new class. Let me give the name as my mapper. Say finish. Your mymapper.java class got created. Now we will write our logic here. Let me close the unnecessary files which are open. Okay. So we'll write our mapper related logic and implementation, everything here. Okay. So the first step is to extend the existing, means the parent mapper class. Okay. I'll describe everything in a detail once we'll go for MapReduce session. So here we need to define some generic, like what would be the input and the output from the mapper class, like the way I have discussed here in the document in the previous video, that what is the input I'm giving, what output I'm expecting. Okay. So in the input to the mapper, I'm saying like line by line everything will move to the mapper. So when I say line by line, so 1 minute guys. So these are the line by line code which are there in your file. Okay. So this will go line by line with the offset as a key and the value as your complete line. Okay. So I just said, like, the offset will be the text long writable and the input whatever will go will be the text. Okay. So in a mapper you need to define the generic, means the input, the output, again the output key and the output value. Okay. Your input key, your input value, and what will be your output key and the output value. So these four things you have to define, like what would be the type of the same. Okay. So we will follow the same. Let me go to the code. Here's some error we are seeing. So we'll just hover over it and say like import mapper class. We'll click on it. My mapper class got implemented. Now it's showing some error. Let me hover it again. It's saying incorrect number of argument for type mapper. It is expecting key input, value input. Means what would be the type of the input key that you are going to give into your mapper? What would be the type of the value that you are going as an input to the mapper? What would be the type of the output that you are expecting from the mapper as a key and the value for the same? Okay. So I just mentioned like I'm using the default thing, means the key will be in the long right table and the value would be as a text. Okay. So we'll do the same. We'll say long and say control space. Long right table is nothing, but you can, as of now, you can understand it as another form of long. One minute. Some problem. Yeah. Okay. So this is a long writable that I'm expecting. I'll click on long writable. See, long writable class got implemented. I'll say comma, and then what would be the next thing you are expecting? Text. Your value, entire value will be in the text form. Then your output key. What would your output key? If you can see, like from this you are expecting output as like this: apple 1, ball 1. So your key will be in the text form, and 1 1 means you are expecting it as an int writable format. Okay, so I say again your output key will be as text and your output value will be int writable. Say control space. Hit enter. Okay, for the text is showing error, hover over it. Always import the Apache Hadoop one, not the W3C DOM. Okay, implemented, done. Now, so you have extended your mapper class. Now you need to define your custom mapper. So by default, if you are not doing anything in the parent class, if you can notice, there is a method called as map method. Okay, this is the method where you need to implement your logic, where you need to implement your mapper logic, and we also need to write the same. A map method which will eventually perform your mapper related job. Okay, so we'll write a map method here which will perform your mapper related job. Okay, so, and what is the logic behind it? We are getting in this format. We will take the values, as in values will be the line. We'll break the line in multiple words and append it with the 1. This is what our logic is, right? Okay, so we'll write our logic for map. So I'll say public void map method, and then this is the thing. Okay, now in the map method we need to define 3 things. One is key, another one is a value, and third thing is a context. Okay, 3 things always. So your key is in which what is the data type for this key? So your key is in long writable, so I'll say long, say control space, take long writable space, and then the value is in text format, so I'll say text space value, and context will be always in the context format. Okay, so this is your custom map method which will be executed when you will run this particular class. Okay, now I'll tell you about the uses of context. Let me write the code, then I'll tell what is the uses of context, what context will do in this map or in the reduce job. Okay, so as discussed in the last session, I said like this map method will be called for each and every line. And here in this file, how many lines are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, let me copy one. Okay, so for every line it will execute it. For each and every line this map method will be called. Okay, and this would be the value and the key will be your offset. So we are in need of this value only. We are not interested in the key, so we'll leave it as it is. So what the first step will do, we'll try to convert this text into string type. Okay, and then because my aim is to fetch all the words, to extract all the words from the line. Okay, so I'll write a simple logic to fetch the same. I'll say string of let's say line is equal to text dot, then I say to so this text this value is in text format, so we'll convert into string. How we'll do that? I'll say value dot toString is a common method to convert this. So this line will be converted in the string. Okay, then we are in a need of fetching word by word, and if you can observe, each words are separated with comma. So there is a split method that we are aware of, which splits a line into a multiple, a string into a multiple strings. Okay, so we'll create a string array for the same. We'll say string array, and we'll say words is equal to, then we'll use a split method, which is line dot split. Say control space, take a split. Now it is looking for regular expression, means the delimiter on the basis of which you will get a array of words. Okay, so what is the delimiter here? That is a comma. That is a comma. I say comma. Now what happened in the words? You will get a you will get an array of these words. So what will be the length? Length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So you got an array of words. Now what is our next step? Once we'll get the word, we will map each word with a key. We'll map each word with a key. You can say a value called as 1. Okay. So we'll write a for each loop in order to perform the same. Okay. So we'll tell for, then I'll say, because each are in a string, this is in a string array, so I'll say string of words type. Okay. Now my plan is to put it into to move it for further step, and the further step is like from mapper it will go to shuffle sort, then it will do grouping, and then it will move to the reducer. This is what I have explained. So how to move it for the further step? Okay, so that is the role of context. That is the role of the context. As the name suggests, like the context is something where you are storing in the current session of the job. Okay, so whatever you are storing into this context, it will be passed for the further steps for the execution. Okay, from means you have to set your whatever the desired output you are expecting. If you want to move it for the further steps, you have to move in a context. And generally, why we use context? We use context to save our any session object or anything related to that. So in the same way, the context is used here. Okay, so in order to pass my output for the further steps, we'll store our output into the context. Okay. So excuse me. Now I'll try to write that. So I'll say context. It's very easy. Dot, say space, control space, then say write. So as you can see, what it is suggesting you in a write, put a key which would be of text type, and put a value which will be of int writable type. Okay. So I'll do the same. In the write, I'll pass my key as a text type. So this word is fetching word by word, means like this loop will run for each number of word, and in the word this value will be assigned. So the first time when the loop will run, the word will be apple. Okay. So I'll say word, comma, and then what my plan is to pass 1. I'll say 1, and then close. Then what it is telling, the method write require text and int writable. Okay, so we need to convert our we need to convert the string into text. So what is the way how we can do that? We say new of text, put it into that constructor. That is fine. Now next step, again still it's showing some error. The next thing, it is looking for int writable. So we'll do the same. We'll say new int. Guys, one minute. I'll say int writable. Take that. pass 1. It's asking me to add a throws exception. I'll do the same. It's done. Okay. So I passed my desired value like string to the text. For converting a string into text, I use new text and done. And then the int writable, I passed my int to that. So what happened in the context? I'm passing my key and the value. And what would be my key? The word by word. So apple and the 1, ball 1, cat 1, apple 1, ball 1. So this will be converted. This will be converted from here when it will go. This will be converted as in apple 1, then ball 1, then cat 1, then again apple 1, again ball 1. That's it. Okay. So this would be the input and you will get the output. For similarly, for each and every line, like you have one line, so for each and every line it will generate the same key and value pair. Okay. Now it will from here it will move to your shuffle and sort phase, and then to the group phase. So in the shuffle and sort phase, what happened? It will sort it in the ascending format as whatever is given in the text. So it's like apple came first, and then the ball, and then the cat. Okay, and then it moved to the grouping phase where it will group all the values of a key, unique key accordingly. Like for apple, how many ones are there? It will group it in 1. Okay. For ball, how many ones are there? It will group it as 1. For cat, how many ones are there? It will group it as 1. Okay. So I'm not implementing this class because our result, like what is our expectation is like from this, I'm looking for this output. Okay. So there is for in order to achieve that, there is no need of implementing anything custom related to like sort or shuffle or grouping. We are fine with the default logic. So the next step should be like reducer, to implement a reducer. So in the reducer, like we will get this as an input. Means this key will be in the text form, and this 11111 will be your iterable. And what is iterable? Iterable is nothing but store a result. It's just a collection of element which provides you a method in which is more effective, which internally implements the for each loop to get each an element one by one. Okay, that's it. It's just the way how it stores the element inside it. Okay. So these all elements are stored in the iterable. We'll use this iterable and fetch the elements one by one into our reducer in order to add it. So once we'll add it, we'll get to know how many apple are there, how many ball are there, how many cat are there. So our next work is to implement the reducer one. So I'll say Control S. 1 minute. Let me create a new class. New class. I'll say my reducer. Say finish. This is a reducer class. Same way you will extend your reducer, saying like extends reducer, extended, and it is giving key input, value input, key output, value output. So what I'm trying to tell here? What I'm trying to tell here? My input is in text form. And key will be in a text, and value will be an iterable. But each value consists of int writable, right? Int writable. A group of int writable is inside the iterable. Right, so I can say like my input is text and the group of int writable is forming iterable. Okay, so actual data type will be int writable. Okay, So we'll add it here, like text is my expected input, and the value input will be int writable type. Okay, it's showing some error. We'll figure out what is that. Now what is the output that we are expecting? What is the output we are expecting? In the output we are saying the output should be text and the int writable. This is what my final output is, right? So I'll write here text again and int writable, and this is what we are looking for. Done. Now in the text we need to implement that, so or Apache Hadoop IO will take that. Okay. Now accordingly, like how we have implemented a map method in the mapper class, we need to implement a reduce method in a mapper class. Okay, so it's same, so I'll say public. So it's same, so I'll say public void, then reduce, the name of the method that will be implemented. So I'll say reduce, and what is that? Here also we need to pass the key input, output, and the context. Okay, so key is your nothing but your key will be in the text type, so I'll say text of key, that is fine. Then values is you are getting in bunch, right? You are getting it in bunch, like in a group like this, which is in form of iterable. Okay, so value will be in iterable form, which is a iterable of int writable type, right? As I said, iterable is nothing but it's a collection of an element, and here is a collection element is nothing but a int writable, that is an element, right? Which is a values, I can say, and then the context, ctx, yeah, or you can write context as well, that's fine. Done. You have given the definition of the reduce. Now we'll write our custom logic to achieve the same. Likewise, we will add this and map it to the key. We'll add and map it to the key. This is what. And how many times reduce method will you call? Reduce method will you call for each unique key. For each unique key, reduce method will be called once. So how many unique keys are there? So that is 1, okay, 2, okay, 3. So reduce method will be called 3 times. We came here. So we will iterate over the values. So I'll just say I'll just iterate over these values. So I'll just say for, okay, int writable is nothing but I'm iterable is nothing but I'm again saying it's a collection, it's just showing just a group of int writable it is having. So I'll say int writable of I comma values. Okay, one by one it will pick whatever is there. So we have only one, so we'll take a summation of that, right? So let me define one variable called as sum, which will be equal to 0. Now we'll start summing it. So what I'm getting I. So we'll do sum plus equal to I dot get. Done. And what is the plus equal to? It means sum equal to sum plus the value, whatever value you are passing. Okay, in that way you will get a summation of the same. Now the next step is to forward it in the context for the further steps. That's what the context do. So for each line we'll get like that. Let me copy one of them. Likewise we have this, so I'll copy this, Control C, paste. Okay, this is what you will get here. So this is the iterable, and which is the int writable of iterable, and we just did a summation. Now in the context we'll pass our key and the summation value. So we'll do context dot write, right, and in write it is clearly mentioned, like, okay, I need a text type and a value type which will be of int writable, value which will be of int writable. So I'll say, let me complete this, right, then the key is nothing but the text, so I'll just pass it as it is, that's not a problem. Then we need to pass the sum. So sum is in integer form, so we need to convert it into int writable. So we'll say new of int writable. Done. It is saying something. Add throws declaration, add it. So you are done. You are done with your mapper code, you are done with your reducer code. So this will be the two Java file where you will need to write logic completely. The driver class is another Java class that is just a configuration file, which will be same for most of the scenarios that we're gonna discuss in our further sessions. But the mapper and the reducer code will be class are the one where you will see where you need to write the actual logic. Rest is like driver is just a common for almost all the like we just need to add 1 or 2 line in the driver, that's it. Most of the things in the driver will is the same. Okay, so let me add a new class, driver1. I say my driver, finish, done. So this driver class will consist of a main method, because this is the class from where you will execute your MapReduce program. So it will consist of main method. Now here so what driver class do? So in the driver class you will define all sorts of configuration. When I say configuration, it means what is your mapper class, what is your reducer class, okay, then what would be your input file on which you are going to perform the operation of word count, okay, then next thing is what would be the output path where you will store your output, okay. So these are some of the basic things that you will define in the driver, and accordingly it will execute the job and give the output to you, okay. So what I'll be doing here, just give me a moment. I'll define the input here itself. I'll define my input and the output directory here itself, okay. Let me do that. So let me add one source folder where we will add our input and output directory, source folder. Let me name it as src/main/resources. So resources is the one where we'll store our input and output file. In the resources, let me create two folder. I'll say folder. I'll keep the name as input, where I'll store my input things, and another one would be the output one. Sorry, it should be folder. Give the name as output, say finish. So in this input you will pass your input, like on what file you are going to perform the word count, and in the output it will give you the output, like, okay, these are the word count output, okay. So let me quickly add the file as well. Let me check whether I have that or not, because I have to create the one if it is not there. Let me quickly check over there. Words.txt. No, it's not in the correct format. I'll quickly create it. new document, say empty document. I'll give it as name as words. I'll say word.txt. That's fine. I'll paste whatever the input is here. Done. Now my word.txt is ready. Close it. I'll copy and put it into my workspace. Inside the SRC main resources input, I'll paste it here. Done. It's added. Word.txt, and this is my output. Okay, so now let me start the code for configuring the files. It's almost most of the time it usually same. Okay, so we'll start in this way. Public static, okay, I'll say string of the path name, and the name is like, I'll say input path, so I'll say input underscore path. I'll give the path here, input path, and also public static string of output path. Okay, so I'll mention my input path here and the output path here. And what is the input path? Input path is src main resources / input. I'll add the same here, src main resources and the input. This is the one. Okay, so whatever will be inside that, you can it will pick it up. So if you'll do like this, it will pick whatever is inside that, or if you'll mention it word.txt explicitly, it will take that one. Okay, let me keep it as it is. Okay, then the output, it's same, but the only difference is like you are having the output folder. So I'll do the same. Okay, so this is your path that you need to add. So let me so this is a string, let me convert it into the path. So I'll say path of input path is equal to new, let me implement this class first, or Apache Hadoop FS. So I'll take this. So it's asking me that give me the string of the path. I'll say enter. String is nothing but your input path. I'll give the same. Done. My input path. Now in the same way, I'll create the output path. Okay, and here I'll give the output. Done. Okay, so I just clearly mentioned that this is the input and the output part that we are going to use. Now the next step is to create a configuration class, and the job class. Okay, so I'll write my configuration class first, which will store all sorts of configuration. So for that purpose, your configuration is there. So I'll say conf is equal to new configuration. I know it's difficult to get all the things at one go. So, but if you are really into it, if you really start practicing it, you will be able to do that. That's not a big thing. That's what I'm saying. At the beginning, it might look big, but it's not. It's always be the same code in the driver at least. So in the configuration conf, now we need to define our job. So job of what I'll say, job is a singleton. Okay, so singleton system will always have a one object, and which will be used across. Okay, Okay, so for this class there will be only one object. So how to do that? We'll say job dot get instance, and for what you are looking for, like I want this configuration, and I'll give some name to that. So this is the configuration, and what name? I can say word count job. Okay, done. It's asking for something. It is saying add throws declaration, add it. Then no, it's not an error. Okay, so moving forward, now we have to add our mapper, driver, reducer, everything. So I'll say job dot, just do control space, then set jar by class. Set jar by class. So what is the jar by class? The jar by class will define like what the driver, what is the main class that will be executed first. What is the main class that will be executed first? So you are expecting the main class, the first class is your driver class. So you will mention the same. So you'll say my driver. 1 minute. My driver dot class will be the class which will be your jar by class. Means when you will make a jar of this complete project, this will be the first class will be executed first. Okay, and then you are set your mapper and reducer. So 1 minute guys. Set your mapper and reducer. So job dot set mapper class. And what is your mapper class? My mapper dot class. Okay, then in the same way set your reducer. You say reducer class, and that is nothing but my reducer dot class. Okay, so now what are the things that you that is completed? Now you define your driver. You set, okay, this is the mapper, this is the reducer. Now the next thing is you have defined your paths, that this is the input path and the output path, but you have not added it into the job. So next thing is to add your input and output path into your job. So we'll add it. So I'll say file input, let me do control space, file input format dot add input path. It is looking for the configuration, that is fine, and input path is looking for the path class. So the path class is your input path. Just copy it. Let me extend this screen. Yeah, so we'll pass our input path here. Done. It is saying something. One minute guys. There's some error. 1 minute. Okay, so this is the issue here. It imported by default org.apache.hadoop.mapper.file input part, and this is what we don't want here. So that's why it's throwing error. Let me import it again. I'll remove it. Control Shift O to remove any unwanted imports. Now let's start from beginning. File input format, say control space. See, it is giving a list of all the options. Don't go for the first one, go for the second one, because we are doing for map reduce. Don't take it for map read. Okay, now import it. Now say add input path, which is your of job is job type, and path is your input path. Done. Okay, in the same way we need to do for output. So I'll say file output format. Don't go for map read, go for map reduce. Then set output path job, and the name is output path. Done. So in this way I set it. Okay, now we are missing one more thing, which is in your reducer you have defined your output key is text type and output value is of int writable type. And if I won't define it here, it will by default take text, which will eventually throw an error, and your job won't be, it will throw an error at the runtime, so it will be failed. So we need to define it here, our output key class and the output key class and the value and everything, whatever we can set it here. So we'll do the same. We'll say job dot our output key. Okay, it should be set output key class. So I'll say set output key class. So my output key is text type. So I'll say text dot class, and then job dot output value class. Set output value class, which is nothing but your int writable type, right? Dot class. Fine. So all the configuration and everything is done. Now you have to write a statement for executing your job. Okay. Before that, one point I would like to add here is like, when the job will be executed, it will look for this output path. Okay, and if the path already exists, it will fail, saying like path already exists. It won't override it. And this is the logic that is defined in the MapReduce job, that if the path already exists, it won't override it, because it might contain some important output related things. So before overriding it, so that's why it fail in override. It won't go and override the files. Okay, so the whole idea is saying this is like, why don't we, this path is already exists, so it will fail. So why don't we write a logic where it will delete the output directory every time whatever is there. Let me delete it for the first time manually. Okay, because directory is already there, so it will fail. That's why I have deleted it. Now I'll write a logic, like once the directory will create it, I'll write a logic so that it will delete that if the output directory already exists. Okay. So in the path class, let me expand it again. In the path class that is there, so I'll say output control space path dot get file system. In the get file system configuration, pass the configuration, then say dot delete, because I'm interested in deleting the particular path, so I'll say delete. And then if there is I'm interested, like if there is a further folders by folder, so I want to delete it recursively, I'll say yes. So here I want to, so what is the configuration that I have to give the path? So path is output path, so I'll take him, and in the recursive I'll say true if recursive delete is true. Done. So it will true if it exists, so that you don't need to delete it manually. Now let me add a flag. Is completed or is successful. Then I'll say job dot wait for completion is a method which will eventually execute your job, and if it is successful, it will be, oh sorry, it should be Boolean type. Add the throws declaration. Add a console output. Say if flag means if the job is true, then one minute. Then it will say job is successful. Okay, now we'll execute our code. Okay, so we'll execute this main method is there, so we'll go to run as Java application. you got a message, job is successful. Okay, you got a message, job is successful. Let me check the output. Your output directory is src main resources output, but that folder is not here, so I'll do refresh. You will get the output directory here. Open it. 2 folder got created. Underscore success means your job was successful. Part -r000. R means it's a map reduce job, and if it is part M, it means it's a map job. Then the part R000 will contain your output, and here is your output. Apple is 6 times, ball is 7 times, cat is 5 times. Apple is 6 times, ball is 7 times, cat is 5 times. So this is a simple word count example. I know I have used few terminology which might be not clear. Okay, and but yeah, once you will practice, because the driver class will be same as it is. Reducer is also like the inner implementation will be different most of the time, and the mapper. But if you will practice the word count example by your own way, you will understand like, okay, how and what are the things is there. Okay, also today what the example what I have shown is like whatever we have done on the local, right? So our input folder also exists on local, the output folder also exists in local, but in my live session I'll show how we can take the input file from the Hadoop cluster and also store my output on the Hadoop cluster. Okay, yeah, so this is it for introduction of word count example. So please go through the first video before you can watch the second, and that's it for today. Thanks.